You just compare Bitcoin with gold and look at the settlement characteristics. And because it's easy to take physical final delivery of an arbitrary quantity of Bitcoin, if you're concerned about your custodian or bank or credit provider or broker, you can withdraw your coins. Obviously, if it's in the terms and service that you can never withdraw, then obviously you can't. But at that point, you never really had ownership of actual Bitcoin. You only have ever had an IOU. But to any service that allows for withdrawal, if you become the slightest bit concerned, you can opt out of that system. That's different, I would say, from gold. Not to disparage gold, but gold is physically instantiated, and it lends itself to being trapped in these kind of walled gardens where every link in the supply chain, from refiners to custodians to financial institutions, is heavily authenticated, and it's costly to get gold outside of that supply chain. We saw these dislocations between New York gold and London gold earlier this year because you had to physically transport gold planes, whereas with Bitcoin, that physical final settlement is easier and cheaper. The other thing I would say is that verification is cheaper for Bitcoin. I can prove that a Bitcoin payment I'm receiving is genuinely Bitcoin and that, it's the real thing. The equivalent with gold would be to use, XRF spectrometer or something like that to verify the atomic properties. I can also, a third party can prove to me that they own a certain quantity of Bitcoin, which is very important. This is why I'm always blathering on about proof of reserves, because a third party can prove that they are, in theory, solvent, or at the very least that they have a quantity of Bitcoin that they claim to have. So that's why I think the custodial environment for Bitcoin is not so concerning to me, because A, we have the ability to hold these custodians more accountable through these cryptographic operations, and B, because if shit hits the fan, basically we can withdraw and take final ownership over our physical Bitcoin effectively.